Are we recording? All right, let's do this. What up, YouTube? It's your boy Darius. What we're about to do is we're about to react to these 5 NBA players' legacy are on the line by any hoops. I asked any hoop on Instagram if it's okay if I react to his video, but I never got a response from him. But I don't think he would mind if I react to his video. But let's get to it. These 5 NBA superstar legacy are on the line. Let's see which 5 NBA players are.
If you look at the 2021 playoffs purely from a standings point of view, it's like no other. There's a ridiculous number of threats near the bottom of the conference. Yep. I'm talking about teams like the Lakers, the Heat, the Blazers, and Celtics. All of them in recent years have either reached the finals or the conference finals.
Yep.
But now they dropped in the standings for various reasons, injuries and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
however, in my opinion, the biggest storylines surround these 5 superstar players. For them, they got a lot to prove. It's time to show
my dude, but
they might have got some flack, some slander from the media and fans.
James Harden, so
it's time to make it or break it. How's it going, folks?
Like,
my name's Andy, and today let's talk about these guys and why this playoff run is so important.
I want a best player. I want a player who is great on both ends, no matter what position
Number 5, Ben Simmons. In Simmons' previous 2 playoffs, 2020, he sat out due to a knee injury, watching his team get obliterated in the first round. In 2019, he got criticized for being too passive in that 7-game series against Toronto. Overall, he didn't perform.
See, like in that series, that series could have gone all the way. It was down to that one shot by Kawhi. It was down to that one shot. Imagine if Kawhi did not make that shot. It would be a totally different story. Who knows? Kawhi might not have left the Raptors. Well, he would left the Raptors anyway. Anyway, after winning the NBA championship. But you guys get what I'm saying.
Well, either. Over the years, the perception of Simmons is kinda strange. On one hand, he's maintained a level of consistency, an all-around game that's rarely seen from a player of his age. On the other hand, he doesn't sway too much outside his comfort zone, and we don't usually see him have that explosive game to carry his team to victory. That's not his style. However, with the Sixers having a dominant regular season, securing the first seed, this is the best position they've ever been in. His star teammates, Embiid and Harris, both just had the best season of their careers. But for Simmons, it almost seems like his career stagnated since his rookie year. At least statistically, and he hasn't made the jump everyone expected him to, which led to some impatience from his own fans.
Yeah,
this is nothing new for him. He's seen these...
You know what, I may not be Embiid's biggest fan, but at least Embiid is passionate about basketball. At least, at least he'll stand up for his teammates, so...
Comments for years, plus an endless amount of trade rumors earlier in the season, where there was a real chance for him to get traded for James Harden. However, nobody considers how much he's improved defensively, though. A fringe candidate to win Defensive Player of the Year. Perhaps with the 5-year, $170 million contract he signed back in 2019, there's going to be a lot of people paying close attention. Hopefully, he can perform and prove those doubters wrong.
5-year, $170 million.
Number 4, Chris Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe Chris Paul shouldn't be on here, because if you think about it, every team he goes to, everywhere he gets traded to, he makes his team better.
He does.
He doesn't have much left to prove, except for winning the title. That has always eluded him.
If things go the way they are,
I made a whole video about this, even despite...
If these are going the way they go now, I don't know. I don't see them beat the Lakers if these are going the way now. But like I said, you don't know. You never know with these things. You can say, oh, the Lakers are going to win easily. No, you cannot say. I'll say this: each game matters. You have to take it one game at a time. That's what Kobe learned. We say, job not finished. We was up 2-0 against the Magic. Job is not finished. I don't want to get I don't want people to get ahead of themselves saying, oh, this is an easy series. No series is an easy series. Sure, there's some series where, Like where players do get sweet, but at those same game, those teams could easily won as well. If that makes sense. I'm trying to put things in perspective. But
criticism for his lack of playoff success. There's no question that CP3 has proven so much at every stage of his NBA career.
At this time.
From a young lad in New Orleans to an aging veteran who looked like he was done in Houston, but still bounced back again and again.
Yeah,
now, he's the primary factor in leading a franchise struggling in the post-Steve Nash era to the second seed in the competitive West. They got kinda unlucky to face the Lakers in the first round, honestly. But regardless, can this regular season success lead to an NBA championship?
All games matter.
I don't think so, but that's always been the question
and these
with
players
Paul.
know that.
Even with the Suns' success, not many are taking them seriously.
Exactly.
Reportedly, an anonymous Western Conference executive stated, "They're a good story. The league needs a few good stories, but I just don't see them coming out of the West. They'll be a tough out for whoever they face, no doubt, but I just don't see them getting past either one of the LA teams. You can't come out of the West and not see one of them along the way."
They down like 1 or 2.
It is unfortunate, though, to see such a great season from Paul leading to another possible first-round exit.
I know.
I thought he should have gotten more MVP consideration to join a mediocre team on the outside of the playoffs to turning them into a legit contender in the West. That's incredible.
They were mediocre because
it's kind of like what Steve Nash did when he first joined the Suns, too. But, alas, Paul's numbers are not as flashy. While they're still great, his contributions are much more than just on the floor. But MVP voters don't really look for that. Either way, it's time for him to show that he can lead this team to a deep playoff run. I'd be super happy if that happened, but I'm not sure he could. Number 3, James Harden. For so many years, Harden has been the man on the team, and year after year, the playoffs haunted him. As a one-man show for so long, the defense always focused on him, and there was always an excuse if he did not perform well. There were years where he got ragged on for having a reputation of not showing up in very important games. Like in 2017, Game 6, against the Spurs. An elimination game for the Rockets, but Harden scored just 10 points on 2 for 11.
I know a lot of people want to put James Harden in the top 10 greatest shooting guard. I can't because it's like he always choked in the most important games. People want to put Harden over Clyde Drexler. At least Clyde Drexler led his team to 3 Western Conference Finals and 2 NBA Finals in 3 years. Granted, he lost both NBA Finals, but still, that's something to consider. And Clyde Drexler did Clyde Drexler even have an All-Star in that game? I know he had Sabonis and my boy Clifford Robertson, rest in peace, Clifford Robertson, but still though, people need to start putting more respect on Clyde Drexler's name. Sure, he's not Michael Jordan, but then again, who is? Clyde Drexler was his own player. Clyde Drexler was indirectly the reason why the Portland Trailblazers did not pick Michael Jordan. Because if you already have a player like Clyde Drexler, what's the point of having Michael Jordan? You guys got to think things logically instead of saying, "Oh, the Blazers should have picked Michael Jordan." No, you got to put things in perspective. But I digress.
Shooting. In 2016, against the Warriors in the pivotal Game 4, Harden shot just 4 of 13 from the field, scoring just 18 points. The worst was in 2015, against the Warriors again, with the Rockets down 3-1. Harden shot 2 for 11 and recorded 12 turnovers, as the Rockets, of course, got eliminated.
Yeah.
A 3 for 20 game against the Jazz in the playoffs, another 2 for 18 game against the Wolves, also in the playoffs. He's had a lot of, not just bad, but horrendous playoff games. That's why I say
James Harden is one of the most overrated players.
Heck, even going all the way back to 2012, he struggled against the Miami Heat in the finals, while KD and Russ had to carry the load. Harden has a history of underperforming during the most important games, but now, on this star-studded roster, there's no excuse anymore.
I think now, if
he doesn't show up when it matters most,
that's why
he'll get absolutely hammered. The Nets need him. He's possibly the Nets' most important player if you look at the numbers.
I think.
Since Harden came to the Nets, he appeared in 36 games in the regular season. They went 29-7 in those games. But when Harden was sitting out due to injuries, the Nets were just 10 and 11. Many of those games with Kyrie and KD playing. I don't know about you, but that's a shocking statistic to me. Like, it really amplifies how much the team needs Harden, even though they already have two other stars. With such a stacked superstar roster, Harden is still the key guy. This was his main motivation to come to Brooklyn, to feel like he wasn't doing everything by himself, and get rid of the past that haunted him. With no more excuses, he needs to show up, and carry this team to the promised land. Number 2, Paul George. Perhaps the entire Clippers team should be on here. After blowing a 3-1 lead in a devastating loss to the Nuggets, they were at the center of mockery.
I was watching that game. Well, I was watching like the last 2 quarters. And man, it was painful to watch Paul George missing all those threes. Even Kawhi was freaking pissed. Like, wow. It's like Paul George was choking worse than like that we eating like Popeye biscuit. It's like, damn. He might as well eat some Popeye biscuit. The way that he was missing all those threes. It's like, come on, man. That's why I want the Clippers to go all the way this year. But Clippers being Clippers, who the fuck knows? Excuse my profanity.
A team that was supposedly a contender absolutely choked.
Yeah.
For Paul George, it was disastrous.
Don't get me wrong, Nuggets were a great
Game 7, he scored a whopping 10 points on 4 of 16 shooting with 5 turnovers. Kawhi also had a miserable game, but if we're looking through past accomplishments, Kawhi has a far better track record than George, who seems to be very inconsistent when the playoffs come around. Plus, he joined the Clippers in the first place because he saw that Kawhi was going there, and he desperately wants to win a championship. In that series against Denver, he not only choked, but he got outplayed by Jamal Murray for the entire series.
Jamal Murray is a great player,
George looked like the 4th best player on the floor, even though he clearly should not be. Following that loss, he took it really hard and admitted that he needed to change the way he practiced. And the team, as a whole, did not have that hunger and desperation they need to have. Coming into the 2021 season, George said he went back to his old trainer he had during his MVP caliber season in OKC, and that loss to the Nuggets motivated him even further.
That's how it should be.
It's crunch time.
If you lose bad, you should use that as a motivation. Failure is the way they say failure is only a failure if you give up. The good thing is Paul George is not giving up. But I gotta stop saying but Paul George he just want I can tell he didn't want to play, but the way these are going now, just I want Paul George and Kawhi and to be really successful. Maybe the Clippers can finally win a championship one day. Who knows? But
the Clippers can't go another season with an early playoff exit, or else they'll get laughed right out the building.
Yeah.
For George, he just came off an incredible regular season, so the expectations are sky high. Can he deliver? Number 1, Giannis. In recent years, it seems like Giannis and the Bucks...
You hear that flight? It's Antetokounmpo. Not Acampo. Antetokounmpo. Say his last name right!
Reached somewhat of a ceiling. Giannis still crushes it in the season, but when the playoffs roll around, the Bucks have looked questionable. They don't look like the same dominant team we see in the regular season. Every year, it seems like the same problems come up in the playoffs for Giannis. The game slows down, which nullifies the Bucks' main advantage, which is getting out and running. They won't get many opportunities for transition points. Defensively, the entire team is on board to stop him, so when he tries to kick the ball out to a shooter, he's too slow in doing so, and defenders can get back and contest the jumper. As good as the Bucks are, their offensive game plan is rather simple, which makes it easier for opponents to have a simple defensive game plan. It was popularized by other Eastern Conference contenders. And
what I fear for Giannis? I fear that he might be the generation version of Karl Malone. Great, two great players, two two players that could potentially be, one of the greatest power forward of all time. I know a lot of people say Tim Duncan, but no, I don't know. Like, I never got into Tim Duncan, but two players who had all the skills, who were excellent, but they just could never they did never go all the way. They just did never get that ring. But
Work to great success. This was super apparent in the previous playoffs against the Miami Heat. In reality, he got suffocated all series long, losing in 5 games to a team you're favored against in the best season of his career. That was embarrassing. And Giannis felt he could have done more.
Black Lives Matter.
Now, he's got a lot to prove, but it's questionable if this Bucks team is actually better than the previous versions. I don't think it is.
Up 3-0, so.
Of course, with a gargantuan $228 million contract he signed over the summer, Bucks fans feel safe that Giannis will not leave. But that doesn't mean he won't get frustrated and could demand a trade if the Bucks continue to get knocked out early. It's gonna be interesting to see how him and the Bucks do in the next few years, but all eyes are on Giannis. Everyone's paying attention.
I pay more
Anyway,
attention to
that's
Paul
all, folks.
George, really.
Thank you all so much for watching. Those were 5 NBA superstars who got something to prove in the 2021 playoffs. Let me know your thoughts on them. Which other stars have something to prove? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoy the video. And of course,
Honestly,
as always, I'll see you next time.
Something cool would be like Jokic or God damn, I got to start watching flight videos. Or is it No, Jokic is Jokic. I'm gonna call him Jokic. I feel like he does have something to prove because or even Donovan Mitchell or Rudy Gobert, because they're great. They're great. They are great players, regardless. But can they go all the way? That's the thing. See, that's the thing with NBA Finals and NBA Championship. A lot of these players, they deserve to be championships. They do. They deserve it. Giannis Antetokounmpo flight. Giannis, he deserved to be NBA champion. The question is, do they earn it? In order for them to earn it, they have to go all the way and actually win it. So that's the difference. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. You guys like what you watch, comment down below and subscribe to your boy. Also subscribe to Any Hoop. He made another great basketball player. Not a player. Another great basketball YouTube who make great content. Great content and knows what he's talking about. So subscribe to him. Thank you guys. Peace, love, and rock and roll.